All right, guys, Dominick Izzo out here in Chicago, Izzo Wing Chun. Today, we're going to be going over Kevin Lee. Is he legit? Is he legit specifically in Wing Chun? I'm going to break down what my 2 cents are, my thoughts are, and then you can make a decision whether or not you agree with me, in the long run. Make sure you like, comment what you think, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Let's grow this. Kevin Lee, I found him a couple of years ago. I'm going to give you my personal insight to what I see in the videos that he's put out there. Remember, I've never trained with him, never spoken to him outside of comments in a comment section, never touched hands with him. I don't know. I don't know anything about his skill other than what he chooses to put up online. I'm going to cover a few videos. I'm going to give my 2 cents, and I'm going to ask that you guys, you see value in it. You subscribe to Kevin's channel. You watch his content. You absorb it, and you make up your own mind. All right, this is one of the first reasons you should follow Kevin Lee. He does what I started years ago, which is inviting other people onto his YouTube channel and featuring him. Number one, this is Sifu Alan Baker. The guy's awesome. He's a stud. Been following him for years, too. He's a very dangerous man who knows a lot what he's talking about. This is Kevin's latest video on KC Fighting Method. If you saw the Dark Knight series that Christopher Nolan did, that's what they based their martial arts off of. But this, to me, showed why Kevin Lee is not only an ambassador for Wing Chun, he's an ambassador for martial arts. Kevin's an extremely well-rounded martial artist. And if you go to his YouTube channel, you're going to see him collaborating with many other people. I have a ton of respect for Kevin. Kevin, if I didn't get to the point of liking his Wing Chun, or if I disagreed with it, I would think that he's an extremely talented martial artist, a phenomenal ambassador of martial arts, and somebody that I would send people to learn from, because he's got a great level of humility that he puts out that he can clearly back up with his fists. So this is, in my opinion, this is the first reason that you should wind up following Kevin, because YouTube is all about educating people. And there's 3 tenets to educating them. You can't educate somebody unless you engage them. You can't engage them unless you're entertaining them. So Kevin is a showman, very class act at what he does. He is engaging people by his having a phenomenal persona, very charismatic, draws people in, and he's educating them because he's really fucking good at martial arts. So this is the first reason you should wind up following Kevin Lee.
Do a bit, okay, time. We give you some time, but when you say, okay, come on, let's go, you can do whatever you want. He can do whatever he wants. But I go follow up. Do a bit, okay, time. All
right, so this is one of the first videos that I saw that sold me on Kevin Lee being legit from a Wing Chun family, right? Now, I don't know the entire background of Sifu Francis Fong. Again, never met, never spoke to him at all. I spoke to Kevin once or twice via comments and on the internet. That's about it. But what some of you don't feel is, when I saw this video, I went, oh, this is legitimate, and I'm going to explain it. Watching these moments where Kevin's balance is taken, it's going to be right when he speeds up a little bit, and you see that, boom, it comes up. That shit that it looks like we're selling in a Chi Sao demonstration. And what I mean by that is, we used to have a saying when Sifu has to kind of sell the the art to somebody who's coming in for a prospective student, and you take a dive, right? If you're going to Chi Sao, you take a dive so that Sifu looks good. I don't care how good you are. You want to make sure that if he chops you and gives you a Fan Sao strike to the face and throat, that you're a good training partner to the other students who are prospects coming in and go, oh, this is great. But there's something that you can't fake. When I first experienced this, especially this was my first Sifu, Danny Halligan, I was a wrestler. So I came from a grappling background. I had a phenomenal base, right? But when Danny would pak sao my arms, and that it was a trapping pak sao going into him, he would rip me out of my wrestling stance. And I was like, this is legitimate. This is insane. So when I first saw this, I did some research on Kevin. Kevin's an extremely skilled martial arts master. And he's getting ripped out of his stance with some of these little movements, which shows that at least what he's being taught, at least, because remember, the question is Kevin Lee legit in Wing Chun? So I will tell you, based on the reactions of his body, because he's not selling it for Sifu Fong here. He's going along, but there's certain things that you just don't sell, and balance is one of them, right? You let your arms flop, you take a dive, you get the hits, great. When I first saw this, It was my professional Wing Chun opinion that he was getting good, legitimate Wing Chun exposure, and the rest is up to the translation, what he's processing, what he's training, what he's applying, and what he's evolving into making his own. So it's the little things that people like me see when we're watching this is, all right, I know damn well that if he's going to get pox out in that that was a short jerking action lopsao, and Sifu Francis Fong rips him right out of his stance. This is not shit that it's just, you can't, I can't explain this unless you've ever been at the receiving end of somebody who either pox or lops you in Wing Chun. The way that it's done energetically, it's done right down into the earth, and it fucking pulls you right out of your stance. So the first tenet that I needed to look at this was, is Kevin receiving the proper information for Wing Chun for him to navigate his journey? In my opinion, yes, he is. He has received proper Wing Chun training. Now, what you have to remember, too, is Sifu Francis Fong has about 23 shorts up on YouTube, and those are making the rounds. And this is, of course, where all the YouTube critics have to come in. Wing Chun is bullshit. It doesn't work, this and that kind of stuff. Remember, this is entertainment. YouTube is to engage people, hopefully educate them, but definitely engage them. You do that by entertaining. So we're taking a 30-second clip on what a tan sao is, a tan da, a tan and a punch, tan da, and you're showing it in this, and again, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Now, Kevin has been his demo partner for the most of the way I could see this, and I think that he's Sifu Francis Fong's senior student. Again, Kevin, if you watch this, I'm interjecting a lot of things that I'm assuming, so please correct in the comments section if you watch this, anything that I get inaccurate. The point being for this too is, this is drill. And I don't understand why people in the Wing Chun community, they consistently have to sit there, outside the Wing Chun community, why they have to consistently say, well, you guys are never going to do that in a fight. Guys, I don't know how to say this anymore. YouTube has made idiots in the combatives world. If you take somebody who's in initial stages of boxing or even MMA, for all you who think that that's the end all be all of fighting, you're going to have them do a combination, right? Could be a jab, cross hook, double jab, cross hook, whatever, uppercut. And if they do that sequence over and over and over again, and I video that, and I put that up online, you guys will praise those people for doing drills. Yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, it's going to be But then when it comes down to a martial art like karate, kung fu, taekwondo, there's no respect or credibility apparently when it comes down to our drills. Again, I have to say it for God knows how long. There's a difference between training and application. This is training. This is training, right? So I want to throw this in the mix for why a video that was popular lately on Kevin Lee, why this may be attributed why he was getting negative comments. And I'm going to pull that up and we're going to talk about that. All right, so this is the video that was circulating. I shared it to my YouTube channel. The criticism is in the comments. I'm going to give my breakdown. Here he is sparring and exchanging. It's a Q sao. Some people call it Q sao. Choi sao, wrist to wrist. It's the reference point that Bruce Lee started at Enter the Dragon that people do. And he's with Jesse Enkamp, who, I'm not going to lie, you couldn't fucking put me in front of Jesse Enkamp. The guy is extremely skilled, extremely dangerous. I don't care who says what. These men who train classical martial arts, and these women too, I'm not going to discredit them. You really want to take a punch from somebody who has dedicated their life, or a kick? You want to take a strike from somebody who has dedicated their life to perfecting their martial art? You're out of your mind. I don't care how skilled you are. I don't care how good you are, how tough you are. It takes one proper strike placed in a position, right in the button, curvature of the jaw, throat, solar plexus. You're done, baby. So no, number one, Jesse is not somebody you want to screw around with. So again, you have to look at this. Now, we talked about, did Kevin Lee get proper training? From my viewpoint, from the school of Francis Fong, which I have criticisms on, yes, Kevin did. this is where I'm going to go into what I think that Kevin, being the student that shows examples, like the demo guy, where this hurt for this video. Now follow my logic. All right, number one, let's look at this and break this down. Here's the first exchange. We're going to do this over. Karate versus Wing Chun. It led from a Pak Sao, and I'm not going to slow this down for this sake. It led to an exchange, Pak Sao into Jesse coming in, pushing Kevin back. Number one, we'll call this for Jesse winning this round, right? Two, same Pak Sao entry, and then it was a low strike down. Jesse really didn't move. Round three, low kick to the leg. Four, he could have taken him down there. Five, it's an even. Six, side kick. Boom, punch strike. In this series, this is why Kevin lost. And I'm going to tell you this because this was where my mind was. Number one, every single person should respect the shit out of Kevin Lee for doing something that 90% of you would never do, which is putting up a video like this in the first place. You wouldn't. You wouldn't go against another martial artist. You wouldn't put your skills up against him. You would not welcome somebody else on your YouTube channel. The fact that Jesse and Kevin and the other guys from the martial arts school they all interwork with each other, they're fucking studs. Those guys are all badass. Even Icy Mike, who the guy's gruff around the edges. He's got an attitude. I think he's fucking awesome because he's opened the door for other people to bring information. So these guys are all fucking awesome. When it comes down to this, I will bet you anything that Kevin is beating himself up after watching this video, gone, I should have done this, I could have done that, I could have done this, blah, blah, blah. And if he's taking the criticism, Kevin, don't worry about it. Read the comment section. You're never going to please everybody. Here's where let's separate all things being equal. There's a size difference and a reach difference. Jesse's got it. Mass difference. Skilled mass on skilled mass always wins, which means even if these two are equally matched, Jesse's going to have the edge and he's going to win because he's bigger, he weighs more, he's got a longer reach. End of story. The problem that I have that I don't know if Kevin has thought about is Kevin is so used to the YouTube demo mode. What I mean by that is there's a switch that Kevin may have not flipped for entertainment purposes on YouTube, which is the take a dive switch. Once that's on, we become static. In other words, Kevin is a kind training partner. Now in Wing Chun, it's very easy for all of us to say, Kevin barely moved forward in everything. Every single Wing Chun hit, Pak Sao, Tan Sao, Lap Sao, has got to translate into the strike, and the strike can only be done moving forward, putting your mass behind it, right? No movement forward, no movement forward, no movement forward, no movement forward. Kevin's static in those positions because he spent most of his time on YouTube being a good training partner for Sifu Fong to show the art. It's automatic. And I'm coming to Kevin's defense. Does Kevin know Wing Chun? Yeah, he does. Was it applied here? No, because his mind is in demo mode. And I don't even know if Kevin's even thought about that for a second. The entire Wing Chun system is about one thing. It's about the punch. That's all it is. Everything you do has to be translated into that strike. You know, it could be a closed fist, could be an open palm strike, could be a Pak Sao, could be a phoenix knuckle. I don't know. It could be an elbow. Everything is meant to be an obstruction remover or flow around to get to the strike. Kevin didn't do any of that here because he's in training mode. So I don't fault him for that. I fault the camera for that. I fault his politeness for it. I fault his awesome background as being a great training partner to let somebody else shine. Kevin's so fucking humble, he'll let somebody else look good, right? But here's what I don't want you to mistake. Based on his skill set alone and what I've seen him do in sparring, what I've seen him do with his other athleticism, yeah, kids, I'm going to tell you, I'm coming to Kevin's aid. He 100% knows Wing Chun. He is legitimate, and if his switch got flipped into forward aggression with the skill set he has, he's fucking people up. He really is. I think that the difference between, like, if you stuck Kevin Lee and me in the same room, I don't know how tall he is. I'm 5'7". I'm going to assume Kevin is about the same height. I outweigh Kevin. I can guarantee I'm 230 pounds. Kevin is faster than me. He is younger than me. He's more athletic than me. I'm more aggressive than Kevin. Based on that alone, if I can get that job done in the first 10, 15 seconds, I'm going to eat Kevin alive. If not, Kevin owns my fucking ass. And Kevin's going to wind up just wiping the floor with me. It's mental. I'm not going to play Kevin's game because I'll fucking lose. I'll get annihilated by it. So I want people to think about that when they based seeing this off of Kevin's persona. He's trying to sit there and express and deliver this beautiful art of ours, which has become so critical because all of you guys want to see it. Oh, it's got to work in action. If I don't see a Tan Sao, it's not Wing Chun. I've never known anybody to punch somebody in the face and go, hey, what'd you use? Was that a Wing Chun punch? Was that a Hung Gar punch? Was that a Choi Lee foot punch? They all look the fucking same. So what are you going to do? Oh, yeah, that was my vertical flying 7 dragon punch from hell. It's whatever. Whatever comes out of my fist is Wing Chun. Based on this video, which I've been sitting on for a while, I didn't want to critique it. Kevin 100% knows Wing Chun. I think Jesse 100% is a phenomenal ambassador of his martial art and karate. And my God, these are two awesome, awesome guys putting shit out there. And they're speaking a different language based off of a mutually agreed position, which is called Kyu Sao or Choi Sao. End of story. If Kevin, as a littler guy, which I am Kevin, you smother the shit out of him. That's what we do. That's where Wing Chun, where so many Wing Chun practitioners screw up is. They see a demo like this, and they think it fails. Off camera, behind the scenes, I will 100% guarantee you Kevin was playing in his mind, I should have closed the gap. I should have smothered him, should have eaten him alive, should have gotten into elbow range, and should have just destroyed. Because Jesse would have had a hard time with that. So this video, which got a lot of critique, a lot of people have been asking me my opinion about it. It's a great representation of Kevin's speed, of his sensitivity, of his ability to wind up, taking energy. It's not the best representation of his Wing Chun. His Wing Chun is still hidden under a bushel. He takes that off and lets that light shine. Guy's going to be fucking unleashed. So that's a real short video on this. Is Kevin Lee legitimate in Wing Chun? 100%. 100%. He's very well skilled. He shows it in all of his training and all of his drills. He does show his ability to translate it in sparring. You can see where it comes out. He's also an extremely well-skilled martial artist in several other arts. And he's open-minded. And he's fluid. And he's athletic. He is a great ambassador for the martial arts. So Kevin gets my stamp of approval when it comes down to Wing Chun. If you're like, well, somebody I want to learn from. I know a lot of you have criticisms with Sifu Augustine Fong. A lot of his, and I'm going to defend him, a lot of his stuff is drill based, right? You guys, some of you have had conversations with me saying, well, he doesn't get out, he doesn't close the distance, right? And a lot with his videos, same thing. He doesn't close videos when it comes down to his pocking, trapping, all that stuff. There's no forwarding energy. It's YouTube, number one. And number two, why the fuck should he give away the cow for free? It's his business. You want to learn that shit? Pay them. Stop thinking everything is free. You want to learn from these men, start opening up your wallet and dish them out what they're worth. And they're worth quite a bit. So when it comes down to everything you see on YouTube, remember, it's a display. It is meant to entertain you, to engage you, to educate you. There is a difference between training and application, and I can 100% personally tell you that not even of ever having touched hands with him, not even ever having met him or spoken to him at all verbally, Kevin Lee knows how to apply Wing Chun, and he hasn't shown that online. That's my 2 cents on that. I think you should subscribe to Kevin's channel. You should wind up endorsing him, supporting him, sending him comments and support. And if you're in the area to train with him, I would. Guys, appreciate that. It's another episode here of just me critiquing content on YouTube. So make sure you support the channel, like, subscribe, comment who you want to see me talk about next. And as always, be safe out there and train hard, guys. See you in the next video.